Hey there, boys and girls. Welcome back to today's math activity. Today's activity is a continuation of one that we started last week. It's called Which Does Not Belong. Today, we're going to look at each 4 quadrants, and we're going to be thinking about different reasons why one of the numbers may not belong. Now, as I told you last week, there's no wrong or right answer, and in fact, this is a great opportunity to think about how many different reasons or different ideas you can come up with. We're going to start by looking at each number. On the top, we have 234. To the right, we have 430. On the bottom, we have 36. And down here, we have 325. I'm going to give you a second to think about which one doesn't belong. It's also important to think about why they don't belong. So what is the reason you feel like that number does not belong with the other 3? I'm already getting some ideas, but I want to make sure that I'm expressing my thinking really clearly. Let's look at the sentence frame we used last week, and then this week I'm going to introduce one that's a little bit more complex. Option 1 is, in my opinion, does not belong because Option 2 says, after considering all of the options, I believe does not belong because So this sentence frames, I included this first little part that says, after considering all of the options. That means I thought about all of the choices before I made my decision. Today, we're going to use both of these sentence frames to think about our reasoning. So when I look, the first thing that I want you to think about is how many digits does each number have? Remember, a digit is just one single number. So for example, this one has 1, 2, 3 digits. Now, if you're looking at my numbers, you're going to notice that one of them is only a 2-digit number. Which one is that? If you're thinking 36 is a 2-digit number, you are correct. So I'm thinking that this one may not belong because it's 2 digits. So I'm going to use a sentence frame to try to express my thinking. I'm going to model both for this one, and then moving forward, I'll go back and forth between the 2 sentence frames. Starting with week 1, and you can read this aloud with me if you like. In my opinion, 36 does not belong because it has 2 digits, while all of the other numbers have 3 digits. Let me try sentence frame number 2. After considering all of the options, I believe 36 does not belong because it's only composed of 2 digits rather than 3. So this one, I've already thought of one reason why it doesn't belong. Now I'm going to look at the other ones because my goal is to try to think about, could I think of a reason why each one of them doesn't belong? I'm going to try to think about evens and odds. What do I know about evens? Evens are 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and those are all in the ones place. So I want you to take a second and I want you to look at the ones place for each number and see if you can come up with a reason that we could disqualify a number based on even and odd. Think to yourself for a second. Just a reminder, our even numbers are 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. And you want to be looking in the ones place to determine if a number is even or odd. Maybe you are seeing what I'm seeing. I can see that this number in the ones place, this digit 5, is not even. If it's not even, I know that that number is odd. 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 are all odd numbers. So I know that this number is odd, while all of the other numbers are even. So I'm going to use my sentence frame to explain my thinking. I'm going to use week 2. After considering all of the options, I believe 325 does not belong because it is odd, while all of the other numbers are even. I'm going to give myself a little check mark. Let's see. You know, boys and girls, this might be a good chance for you to think about what you know about these numbers and see if you can find a reason that this one doesn't belong, or a reason that this one doesn't belong, or maybe you could think of another reason that we could disqualify these numbers. I'm going to give you some tips. Think about place value. Think about numbers that are greater than or less than. Think about what would happen if you added the digits together to get a sum. Be creative. Think about all of the reasons that you could think of that one of these numbers may not belong. I'm going to leave this here for just a second so that you can think about the sentence frame. Go ahead and pause your video to think about if you can come up with a reason that one of these may not belong. Go ahead, explain your thinking. You can either add a video to your teacher on your Dojo profile or portfolio, or you can email your teacher and send them information about what you're thinking. I'm looking forward to hearing your thinking now that you've seen some of mine.